Alright guys, we are back here. It's a Saturday morning and we stopped by for breakfast at the Corner Grill. So Miss Christy Elliott, she owns the Corner Grill here in Parsons, Tennessee. And by God, if you ever through the area, you come up here for a good Tennessee country breakfast. She's everything a Southern gal is, and she makes some fine cookies. So every good day starts with a good breakfast. And maybe we'll get some footage of what the boys ordered. I'm not sure what they ordered, but I'm here with Jeff and Chris today. We're by ourselves today. The rest of them had some business to do in Nashville. There's Miss Christy. Everybody around here calls her Mom, so there's Mom ringing the bell. Yeah, he slept in till like 9 o'clock, 9:30 this morning. He was sleeping like a homeless man under a blanket. There's Christian right there, drinking some coffee, trying to get enough courage up to face the day here, I guess. So we're gonna go down here. We're gonna have some fun, and bundle some wood, and keep on splitting wood. Cause by God, we are covered up this weekend. So anyway, I'll show you what we get here in a second. Christian, he got him a big old pancake. He's buttering that up good. Gonna put some syrup on it. I got scrambled eggs, bacon. Jeff got biscuit and gravy. And I think they both ordered eggs, but they didn't come in yet. But I love this place. This is our little getaway here. It's where the community comes together. We hang out, we talk, and yeah, it's a blessed time to come down here and get some breakfast. So she's open from like 6 a.m. in the morning to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So yeah, if you're ever in the area, stop by, get you some good food here. It's awesome. All right, guys, we're back in the wood yard here. We had a good breakfast. Probably a lot of us will get together there Friday and Saturday morning before the convention. We'll probably meet at the Corner Grill in Parsons. So whoever wants to do that, let me know. I'll probably be there both mornings. If we can, it'd be a good meet-up spot and just hang out, and I'll show you some good Southern cooking. But yeah, I talked to Miss Christy this morning, and she said that would be awesome. They'll try to make room for us. So yeah, come on back if you want to some good old home cooking, country cooking before the expo, March 13 and 14. We'll all be meeting up there, so if you can make it, come on out. All right. We're gonna keep sharpening this chainsaw. I broke the old steel 500 out. Yeah, like I said, Jenny and them, they're in Nashville. They're on business today. They'll be back about 2 o'clock. Curve and Rondi are out there too. Emily took them out. So the 395 and my other 372, they are at the saw shop in Adamsville there. So I'm not getting to use them today. So the only thing I got left is steel. I like it. I love the steel 500i. It won't keep up with the 395. So all those guys bragging on this saw, for a timber cutting saw, it would be okay. I mean, if this is the last saw I had to cut timber with, I would use it. But it's the Johnny Popper of chainsaws, man. It ain't got that much torque. It's just a high-speed, fuel-injected, computerized chainsaw. It's not really got like raw power, but it works good for in a wood yard. I just call it a light-duty. It's just a light-duty saw. But you could use it in the woods. I'm not saying you couldn't. But I enjoy using it. Not a huge steel fan myself, but it's just fine. Better than a crosscut saw, ain't it, boys? Mm-hmm. I love sharpening chainsaws. Been doing it since I was I tried to sharpen my first chain, I think I was about 8 or 9 years old. So I'm just about to do it with my eyes closed. Things are coming together for the expo now. It's exciting. Go check our Facebook page out, the Mid-South Firewood Expo, for all the updates on there. Give that a follow, share that please if you don't mind, and any little bit helps. Hopefully we have a good turnout. You know, you never know being the first year what to expect, but hopefully it's a good turnout. Man, it's hot out here today. We didn't wind up having no tornadoes. It all blew off last night. We're supposed to have rain today and everything. Now it's just like, but now it's supposed to, Sunday night it's supposed to be in the 20s. So. Like, man. This is a good chainsaw though. I like this bar on here, the steel light bar. I don't do no fancy chainsaw sharpening. I seen somebody out there put a file like this in a drill and was trying to drill out. I'm like, man, all you gotta do is just hold your hand steady and just sharpen the saw. No fancy putting it in no drills. Don't use no Dremel. None of that stuff. I won't use a Dremel. I've tried it. Sucks. I don't know too many professional timber cutters that use a Dremel. I'm talking about timber cutters that cut every day on the mountainsides. I don't know that many of them use Dremels to sharpen their chain. To me it could work, but man, it's just kind of a shortcut way of doing it. I mean, to me it just doesn't seem as professional. I can just, you should be able to hook your fingernail on the tip of that. So easy to hand sharpen, man. I just don't know, these guys that just don't want to hand sharpen or pay somebody to do it, I don't understand it. I'm not as steady as I used to be in my hands, but I do not like a chain sharpener. They just do not get a sharp enough edge on there. Nothing like a hand file chain. And don't press down hard on it. Let the file do the work. One thing I learned long ago: sharpen your chains more often. Don't let them get dull. I know sometimes they hit something, but let the file do the work. The file, it's not a grinder. So you just let her do its job. Get a good hook. And I've seen some people come up too far and the hook on the chain starts falling back more and more and more. Keep a good hook on there. You got to push down, get you a good round hook. Some other people argue that you know, it doesn't matter, but I don't know, man. You cutting veneer white oak and all that stuff, high dollar logs, is just really not too many different ways to sharpen your chainsaw. There's fun ways to sharpen your saw, and I get that, but what all boils down to, if you're a professional chainsaw operator, just sharpen just like this. So simple. Get that beautiful sharp point. And I'll tell you something else that'll blow your mind. If you have the right angles and everything on your chainsaw, on your tooth, if that top there is perfectly sharp and at the right angle, and your hook is the right depth, you can take a ball peen hammer and knock the corner off that, and that thing will still cut. Guaranteed. I've done it before just to prove it. I didn't believe it, but you gotta have all your angles right if you're gonna do that. But yeah, that's so sharp it'll hook your fingernail on it. It'll hook the dead center of your fingernail to catch it like a barb. Okay, I'm gonna knock the drags. You don't need to use a gauge. I mean, you can, but I don't know, man. I can just kind of look at that tooth and see. But I mean, once again, I've done it so many times. I mean, if you're just learning, I understand using a gauge. So, but it's just simple as that. Knock them drags down. I can even do that with a round file. And put a round file against there. I can knock your drags down like that if you don't happen to have a flat file. Sometimes in the woods we don't have all the proper tools we need, and a lot of little tricks like that go a long ways. Yep, that's all it is. That's how it's done. Chris, can you run and get me some hearing protection? See, this saw is just so light. It's just, they don't sit well. But I ain't getting no younger, so maybe I need a light saw. I don't know. Some guys I've seen on some of these videos, man, they sharpen their saw and they go out and just wide open, I mean, you should be able to just take this blade and just the weight of this saw should just right through a hardwood log. That's how sharp it should be. If you gotta wind these saws out just screaming wide open, you don't know how to sharpen a saw. I'm not trying to put nobody down on that. I know you gotta learn, but I guarantee you, taking a lot of wear and tear, taking a lot of life off these saws. If you gotta scream them things wide open, make them cut. And they will cut because this is a really high RPM saw, but you shouldn't need to do that if you know how to sharpen a chain. Freehand, no gauges, no nothing, completely freehand. Thank you, Christian.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna demonstrate how these saws should cut. Now, I don't know, it's been 2 months since I've used this saw, so I don't know what shape the chain was. I wasn't the last one to sharpen it, but I'm the last one to sharpen it today. Let's see how it cuts. See if it even got gas in it. It may cut like shit, I don't know. But according to the way I feel like it should be sharpened, I just got done doing that, and think about out. We'll see if it cuts. It may not. But oh, that thing's hard. properly sharpened saw. You saw, cut that cookie, and I put absolutely no pressure down on the saw. And this is a light saw, mind you. Very little weight between there and there. But if you put a proper hook on that, it pulls itself down. You got to have a proper hook on there. You can't just keep getting more shallow and more shallow. You got to go deeper and deeper, because this chain is angled up like that. So you're going to need to go that direction when you file. That being said, you're going to have the proper edge on the top too. So that saw, just with its own weight, which is very light, it just fed right through that log, cut straight as an arrow. That's a white oak log, and it would just cut through it like butter. You wouldn't even want it to put any more pressure on it, because it would have probably bogged out. So, not bragging or nothing. That's just, I wish I could just almost do a class and show people how to properly sharpen a chainsaw, because I see a lot of folks on YouTube really struggling, and it's really annoying to not have a saw that just does not cut like butter. You should be able to hit a big hardwood log and that saw just sinks. I mean, just floats through that log. And you know, a lot of it's just people haven't grown up. I mean, not everybody had the opportunity to try sharpen a saw at 8 years old, you know. And I had my dad's vise and his old 044 steel chainsaw, and you know, I had to get a block of wood to stand on, and I put that thing in that vise, and I learned. That's just how I learned. And then I run a chainsaw about 8.5. I took the chainsaw. That was crazy, kind of crazy story, but I was about 8.5 years old. I started driving tractor when I was 6, and I was 8.5 years old. I was I knew where some wood was in the woods, that a fallen down tree. It was a nice tree. It was like a chestnut oak maybe, and I was right at 8.5 years old, and I took my dad's saw without permission, and I went and got on the loader tractor, took the loader tractor back in the woods, and I cut up my first log. I felt a little guilty doing it, but you know, I was just kind of wanting to live on the edge, and I took we had a really light splitting maul, and one of them really light trooper splitting mauls, and I could just barely swing that thing, but it was really straight grain wood, and I busted that old chestnut oak up, and I cut all the rounds up. Might have hit the ground a couple times, but I cut a whole loader bucket full of wood. It was a big loader bucket. It was about an 80 horsepower tractor, and come lunchtime, I come creeping back in out of the woods with a big loader bucket of firewood. And I think he might have been in town. He rode up and come back behind the house like, "Where'd you get this firewood?" And I was like, "Well, you know, I was one to beg for forgiveness later." And I said, "Well, I took the saw back in the woods, and I cut up my first tree and split it up." And he's like, "Well," he didn't thank me, he frowned at me, and he said, "Well, you know, you really should ask permission before you get a chainsaw. You get hurt back in there." But he never said I couldn't do it again, and that's kind of where my firewood career went. And you know, he just, you know, I was self-taught. You know, I'd watched him do it, but he never taught me how to run a chainsaw. I just learned myself. And it didn't have a big 24-inch bar. 16-inch bar is all it had. So, you know, I was just a kid, you know. But that's where my love for firewood began. I would go back in the woods all by myself. And then I was probably 9 when I cut down my first tree, you know. And we had some trees that were leaning out over the fence. I remember I unplugged the fencer and popped the fence off the insulators there, let the fence down, and I clearly remember exactly on that farm where I dropped my first. It was actually 2 double trees, and they were like this, but they were still leaning out, and I remember how I put a notch in there and carefully cut down them 2 trees, and that was my first tree. So yeah, I don't know what rules are nowadays, but you know what, I grew up an entrepreneur. It made me a better person because of it. I know some of you guys are always fussing about safety, and I get that, and maybe more so wherever y'all live, but for me, that's what built me. It's what built America. And you know, you raise a bunch of sissies if you hold your children back from at least trying to do some of that stuff. I'm not saying go out and turn them loose. I'm not saying that at all. Things have changed. But man, give your children a chance. You cannot fuss at your children wanting to be on electronics all the time if you don't give them a time of the day to show them how to do this. The only reason they're on electronics is because you don't give them the opportunity to come out here and learn this. You might say, oh, well, they're too lazy. Well, no, probably not. If you would have started when they were 6 and 7 years old, you know, they you know, I think it's letting them go to their 10 or 12 without teaching them to work. That's where they might become a little bit lazy. Start them out young, because every kid wants to do pretty much what their parent does. If they have good parents, they're going to kind of want to do what adults do. Let them try, man. That's all I can say. I know there's probably a more professional way of saying it, but that's just my plea to anybody watching this video is start your kids out young. Give them that opportunity. Show them that you can make some money. Show them how to sharpen a chainsaw. Jeff, you know how to sharpen a chainsaw now by watching the video. Yeah. You know, give them the tools they need to succeed. Yeah. There's your nice little cookie. Who wants to eat this cookie?
My teeth would break.
We're gonna throw this on the fire. But thanks for coming along today. We're gonna probably go bundle some wood. Actually bag some. So yeah, we'll bring you along on that next video. But thanks for stopping by. Whoever's coming to the expo March 13 and 14, consider coming out to the Corner Grill in Parsons before the show. Get you something good to eat. Meet Miss Christy. Shake her hand. She's a phenomenal lady. She's just a good figure in our community, a pillar. Her and her husband, Clayton. They're just fine folks. But yeah, that's how to sharpen a chainsaw. And yeah, good luck today. Y'all have a great weekend. We're going to be working for the next 3 days. And so we got some work to do. So see y'all next video.